HooHooHooRobin.
Yeah, here he is, Mr. Larry King.
Look at the look on his face.
Yes, sir.
I know you're thrilled.
We are thrilled.
We are thrilled, sir.
We have watched you for many years.
Try to hold it down. Okay.
And we are, in fact, on the air. A lot of people walk in and go, are we on the air?
Yeah, Sirius Radio. I listen to Sirius. I know it.
Okay.
By the way, is this air conditioning designed to kill people? Is that it?
It is quite a draft, right?
Yeah. You want to move over one?
I would like to move over.
Move
over there.
Jim Norton's seat. It's either get cold or get some kind of a communicable disease from Jimmy Norton.
The great Larry King.
I had that grill moved because it would blow on me, and what a draft. It's crazy.
I can't take
Hey, Larry, you started in radio, right?
Sure.
How do we get out of this radio thing?
Yeah, how did you get out of it?
Well,
Because that's what we...
First, I'll tell you about. I started in 1957. Neither of you were born.
No.
Right? Okay.
No, close.
And I always wanted to be in radio, and I thought I'd be, honest to the truth, I thought I'd be either a sportscaster or a comedian. This is why I'm doing this comedy tour.
Yes.
Because I've always told funny stories, always appeared at conventions and the like. But I loved radio as a kid. I used to listen to radio. And I was 5 years old saying I wanted to be in radio.
Wow.
I'd listen to The Shadow.
The Shadow knows.
Who knows what evil
lurks
in the hearts of men.
The Shadow knows.
The Shadow knows.
Yeah.
And I would listen to that, and then I'd go into the bathroom, and I'd imitate it.
Really?
I'd do the same thing.
Oh.
The Shadow knows. What a high that was. Or a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Yeah.
Oh, I went nuts. What Lights Out? There was a show called Lights Out. Arch Opler did it. It was on Sunday night. And the announcer would say, turn down your blinds. Lock your doors. Crawl under your couch. And turn your lights
Sounds very complicated.
Oh, well, it freaked me out because you could imagine anything you want listening to that.
Right.
So I always wanted to do it, and then one day I did a bunch of odd jobs. I worked for United Parcel Service. I worked in a building right near here for a factoring company. I just got out of high school. My father had died. I had to help my mother. But I always wanted radio, and I ran into this guy named James Sermons, who worked for CBS.
Right.
And I said, where could I break into radio? I was 22. And he said, go down and try Miami, because it's a lot of stations, no union. So there's either guys on the way up or the way out.
And you had no experience at all except for just practicing in the bathroom.
Knocked on doors, and this guy at a small radio station said, I like you. We got a big turnover here. If you hang around, learn a little of the business. First opening you got.
What was radio like back then when you started, though?
Well, it was a lot of stations. FM was nothing.
Of course.
FM was... In fact, our station, our big station that I joined, gave away its FM station. They gave it as a gift to the University of Miami.
Right.
I think that station is number 2 in the market now.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, there were a lot of stations. And, of course, the Spanish influx started a couple of years later. And a lot of Spanish stations. And it was fun because you picked your own music. Mm-hmm. At least on the station I was on, we played Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald.
And you got to pick the songs.
Oh, yeah, you picked your own songs. But I did everything. I did news, sports, jumped there. I did everything in the world. But my first day on the air, now this is a life's dream come true, right? I'm going to be on radio. Monday morning, 9 o'clock, May 1st, 1957. And I'm nervous as hell. And the general manager calls me in, and he says, this is your big day, kid. You're starting on radio. I said, yeah, I'm nervous. What name are you going to use? I'm stunned. And my name was Larry Zeiger, Zeiger's no good. It's too ethnic, and people won't know how to spell it. You need another name. I need another name. I'm 10 minutes, got to go on the air. And he had the Miami Herald open, and there was an ad for King's Wholesale Liquors. And he says, how about Larry King?
That's how
I never knew that.
Sounds fine to me. Whoops. Now I'm in the studio. I got my record cued, Les Elgart, swinging down the lane. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to fade it and talk over it. And I fade it and turn the mic on, and nothing comes out. And I bring the music up, and I bring it down, I bring it up, I bring it down, I bring it down, and I'm scared to death. And I'm looking at the clock, and like 2 minutes has gone by, And I said to myself, my whole career's ruined. I'm scared to death. And apparently I just don't have the moxie to do this. And the general manager, Marshall Simmons, I really loved him. He kicked open the door to the control room. And he said, this is a communications business. God damn it, communicate. He shut the door. All I did was turn on the mic. And I did something then, 1957, that I would do today. I was honest with the audience. So I said, good morning, my name is Larry King, and that's the first time I've ever said that. This is my first day on the radio. Oh, I wanted it all my life. Scared to death. Been playing the music. Don't know what to say. General manager just kicked the door open. He said to communicate. I better communicate. I was never nervous again. Radio 2 years later got into television. Always did both. Never had a nervous moment again in broadcast because I learned that morning.
Yeah, wow.
That it ain't brain surgery.
Sure.
Okay, so what is going to happen is going to happen. But if you're honest, in retrospect, I realize if you're honest with the audience, you cannot go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If I miscued records that morning, or broke at the wrong time, or said the wrong thing, the audience has got to be saying, it's his first day.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought you've been too honest with the audience at times? Because I know that when we do this show, especially if it's a slow news day, you'll notice certain things will come out of us that we might not bring up on an ordinary news-filled day.
No, because I used to do a morning show. That's where I really started to get famous, was doing a funny morning show. And I did all sorts of wacky things. But no, I was raised in a different era of broadcasting.
I don't necessarily mean outrageous stuff. I mean just really letting people in on your personal life, growing up, things like that.
No, because when I started interviewing people, it was never about me. It was always about them.
Okay, right.
I never used the word I when I interviewed people. I thought my opinions were irrelevant. Like a lot of guys today, I don't like because they're soap opera guys.
Well,
I don't learn anything. I never learned anything when I was talking.
My dumb opinion on you, that's why you're a great interviewer. You let the guest talk.
I let the guest talk. I listen.
It's so
I follow
simple.
up.
If you think about it, but a lot of these guys, they have to talk just as much as the guest.
And my friend Herbie Cohen says, you know why you're successful? One, you created a vacuum and filled it. Mm-hmm. Second, you're dumb. That's the truth. You're like, why? Why did you do that? Mm. The simplest question, all these guys figure. When we had the first Gulf War, we must have done 70 straight nights on that war, worked Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. And my question, people came over to me and said, you asked the same first question every night, which was, what happened?
Yeah.
I would have reporters on, generals, people involved, people over there. What happened? Mm-hmm. But most guys think that they have to look smart. So they start to say, today, and here's my opinion. The simplest thing is, if you say what happened, one, you learn a lot. You learn it from their point of view. I wasn't there, so I don't know more medicine than doctors. I don't know more law than lawyers. I understood that.
Right.
And I always knew that I'd be there tomorrow night. I'm going to be there tonight. It's my show. That's what the name says.
That's what we say all the time.
Well, and I want my guests to be great. I want them to be super great.
Because they're going to say, the Larry King show was great last night.
If I did comedy,
right.
I want the comedian to be funny.
That
Why would I want him not to be funny? I don't want to top him.
I got to jump in. That's been our secret for many years. There's a lot of radio guys that feel like they have to be the funniest guy in the room when you have a really funny guy on. And I've told Anthony over the years, we'll get credit no matter what.
Yeah,
and if the guy's killing, if Larry King is killing right now, I'll go home and my people around me go, wow, the show was great today.
If people listening to me and they find this interesting, that little story I just told,
sure.
Breaking the, they found that interesting. Where did it happen? On Opie and Anthony. Right. So I'm gone. You're here tomorrow.
Right.
So if this show is good, they say, what, Opie and Anthony?
I wonder if we've got that philosophy from Larry King, because that's something we completely believe in. I got to go back. You said you've never been nervous since your first broadcast. I don't believe that. All those people you've talked to over the years, no one really got you nervous inside.
Nervous for a moment. A
little bit here, a little bit there.
Frank Sinatra.
Frankie.
Of course, he was hard to get. And Jackie Gleason got him for me. And I never thought he'd show up, and he owed Gleason a favor, and that's why he came.
Wow.
And we later
nervous from Gleason.
We later became friends. No, I was never nervous for Jackie.
Big Gleason
Jackie
fans.
made it. Oh, Jackie was my mentor.
That guy.
When Jackie came down to Miami, they rented a train. They took a whole Amtrak train, and I was on that train.
No kidding.
Yeah, I flew up from Miami, and I flew down, and then I hosted the Welcome Jackie Gleason dinner. I did a lot of emceeing.
Right.
That's what I do in comedy. Is very not new to me. And so I stood on stage with him, and then he used to come on my show. Came on my. He was an insomniac, so he'd call in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And he came on my television show. First time he came on, he changed the whole set. He didn't like the set. So he broke into the general manager's office, and he brought new chairs in, and he lit it. He wanted it lit differently. Jackie was a genius.
We love Jackie.
I was just talking last night about The Honeymooners was on, and I was like, what show in this day and age can you say in 50 years from now is still going to be on and still be hysterically funny?
My driver, when I'm in New York, Joe, he has all the tapes, and he plays them.
Over and over again.
You can watch those.
You don't get sick
They
of them.
never lose. He let me, when they went down to Miami, they did hour shows, and they did them in color. And they did it with music, and it was very creative. And he let me sit in on writers' meetings. And it was really wild to watch those writers go. Because the Honeymooners, when you think about the Honeymooners, what problems he gave the writers. For example, never saw the bedroom.
Right, yeah.
Never had a phone. So you could never introduce a gag using the phone, where sitcoms always use the phones. Hi, good. The phone, that terrible phone call.
2 episodes he had a phone, I believe.
Yeah, they had a phone. He couldn't take it. They
had a phone.
hid it in the drawer.
Yeah, hidden in the drawer. And the one where he had the counterfeit money and bought the phone. Gave the guy $100 just to take the clicking out of the phone.
And then and Norton was a genius. You had to come to the door or look out the window or go to the raccoons.
Right.
The raccoons where they wave the back of their
Yeah.
That was but Jackie was a comedic genius. Never rehearsed.
Wow.
He had a guy built just like him, a friend of his for years, who would do all the rehearsals. And
E-Rock?
He'd watch the rehearsals on the tape, and then he watched all the scenes. So, as Art Carney once told me, it was really weird. When you did something with Jackie, like when you came through the door on a Honeymooner show, the first time you saw Jackie, that was the first time.
When you were taping it.
Another guy had rehearsed it. So Jackie knew all the moves. He knew what moves worked and didn't work. So he didn't need you to rehearse with you. He worked off of you. And he understood regular people, poor people. He turned down a script. I went to a script meeting once. They came up with a funny idea. In the 40s and 30s, in the Depression years, they would have rent parties in Brooklyn. A rent party was if you couldn't make your rent. You threw a party for your friends. You had a little dish by the door. The friends threw money in when they came in. And you would serve the Coca-Cola and pretzels. And they could bring beer, and that's the party. And funny things happen. Money gets lost. Things get lost. And I'm sitting in this writers' meeting, and it was really funny. It had a million jokes. And now Jackie comes in, and they read it for Jackie. And he's laughing. Yeah! And he's pounding the desk. And he says, I won't go. Kill it. Why? Because Cramden would never throw a rent party. He had too much pride. He could never ask people to come and give him money.
Yeah, that would be out of character for Cramden, yeah.
So they go through this whole time, and all the writers look deflated. He says, but we could come up with another idea, and you could use that joke there and put that one in this.
So the jokes wouldn't be lost.
The jokes would not be lost, but the concept was lost.
What a great thing to have, memories of actually hanging out with Gleason. That's amazing.
That's the only part of growing old that's good.
How did you...
the rest is a bitch.
How did you go
Anyone who tells you these are the golden years is a freaking liar.
That's crap.
These are not the golden years.
How did you go from spinning records and talking on the radio to interviews and becoming a famous interviewer?
There was a famous restaurant in Miami Beach called Pumpernicks, and they were open 24 hours a day, and the slow time of day was in the morning, mid-morning, like from 10 to 11:30. So the owner of Pumpernicks used to listen to my morning show, right? They had a lot of funny things. And he liked me, and he says, why don't you come to my restaurant every morning? When you finish your show, I was on from 6 to 9. Drive up, I'll give you some extra money, and we'll do my show from the restaurant from 10 to 11. And that show, so I couldn't prepare anything. I just came. I was interviewing waiters and visiting people going to conventions. And one day Bobby Darin walked in. And I love Bobby Darin. And Mac the Knife was the #1 song in the country. And he was up early, and he had listened to me. And he came over. So I put him on. I couldn't prepare, but I loved it. And then Jimmy Hoffa came. Wow. It was a Teamster convention.
Wow.
And Hoffa came in with the Teamsters, and suddenly I'm 23 years old, and I'm interviewing Jimmy Hoffa in a restaurant. But I got to love it. I got to love asking questions. I got to love the listening part. I got to love everything about it. And that show propelled me into getting a television show, Sunday night TV show on the ABC affiliate. And then they moved the radio show from a disc jockey show to a nighttime talk show. They didn't call it talk show. It was just a show. And I did a show from Surfside 6, the houseboat, which was very big at the time because it was where a TV show was filmed. And that started it all.
You said you used to do wacky stuff as a morning guy?
Oh, yeah.
What was the wackiest thing
Well,
you did?
I had a...
It might sound dated now, but at the time,
well, maybe
I'm sure
it isn't dated. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, wait a minute. I had...
Don't make us compare stories.
This occurred because in driving to work, I would listen to traffic reporters.
Right.
And they would say things like, this is Miami, right? I-95 is jammed from 37th Street to 67th Street. Please use 7th Avenue. It's a lot easier, right? And then 10 minutes later, the guy would come on and say, 7th Avenue is jammed. So he caused the problem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I got to thinking I'd have my own traffic reporter. And I just hit a little switch, changed my voice a little, called him Captain Wainwright, and he turned into a crooked cop. And he would offer things to the audience. He would interrupt me. It was me talking to me.
Right.
But he would sell flashing lights that you could put on top of your car and play cop. You could drive around. He would take bets inside. He was a phony police officer. And that thing caught on. People had bumper strips called, Don't Give Me a Ticket, I Know Captain Wainwright. Wow. And I turned him into a character. Then I would interrupt song. I put a song on at the wrong record. Mangoes. Rosie Clooney had a hit record called Mangoes. And I hit the wrong speed. It was at 45.
Hit the wrong speed.
I hit the
How old are you, Larry? That's amazing.
Well, you don't remember records?
Well,
they were big guys. They were a thing called records. Listen, they were round.
We know
records. They were vinyl. No, you'd love them.
He's just busting your balls.
You'd put him down. I know he is. I'm busting him. You put him down with a little needle. It was fascinating. You could scratch him. And we had a thing called...
Sometimes you had to put a penny on the thing.
Yeah, you had a thing called queuing.
Oh, you had to queue up your record.
The record, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I put this record on at the wrong speed and actually played very spa. I let the whole thing play. I came on and said that was a guy who lived in the Aleutian Islands, and he sent this song to Columbia Records, and they stole it, and they gave it to Rosie Clooney, and it's a sham. And people wrote to Columbia Records, and the head of the company called the station, who is this crazy guy making up this fella from the Aleutian Islands that's playing this record, that's singing this record. So I would do a lot of wacky things.
He was a bad boy, Ant.
The interview, I was
you were a bad boy.
A bad boy in those times.
Right.
Sure.
Did you get fired at some point in your...
The only time I got fired was when the station went all black. We had a station go all black, and they let everybody go.
Couldn't get your funk on?
No. But I got hired back again on a new station, bigger station. And,
yeah.
And then the TV really took
yeah.
off. Then I was on a station for 18, which is unheard of now. 18 years on one station.
Yeah. I didn't know you were into comedy. I think a lot of people are surprised by that. And you said earlier in the interview that it was always your thing.
Well, what I did was I used to go do conventions.
Right.
Because people would call and say, can he speak at the General Motors convention or AMA? I go around speaking. In fact, this past Thursday, I was in Lisbon, Portugal. I spoke to a major group, and all comedy. I just told funny stories.
So
I've been doing this.
And that's what you've been doing.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
When I semi-retired, my nephew is Scott Zeiger. He produced a lot of Broadway shows. He produced The Producers. Mm-hmm. And he's got the Jersey Boys in Vegas. And he says, I saw you work at conventions. Why don't we put together a comedy show? And you tour as a one-man show, sort of like Billy Crystal's 700 Sundays. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, so this is going to be heavily produced. It's like a Broadway show, but it's just me. I come on, but there'll be backdrops and tapes. And I walk through it. So I said, well, where will I get booked? So listen to this. This is the truth. Next Saturday, this coming Saturday, I'm at the Borgata in Atlantic City.
That's a good gig.
Sunday,
nice.
Wilbur Theater, Boston.
Wow.
The following Friday, I'm at the Hoosier Park Racing Casino. Saturday, June 4th, Biloxi, Mississippi. Friday, June 10th, Reno, Nevada, the Silver Legacy Hotel. June 11th, Nevada, Las Vegas, the Mirage. June 20th, Chandler, Arizona. I love this. The Wild Horse Pass Hotel and Casino. September 23rd, get this, boys, Reykjavik, Iceland.
Iceland.
September 25th, Stockholm, Sweden. The September 26th, Bergen, Norway. September 27th, they love me in Norway. Oh, I'm big in Oslo.
Yeah, big in Oslo?
Downtown Oslo.
Yeah. Downtown, not so much the
Stavanger,
suburbs.
Norway. Copenhagen, Denmark. Munich, Germany. A Jew comes to Munich.
Wow.
London in October, and then in October, Snoqualmie, Washington. That's at a casino in Washington.
I assume
then I'm
from
in
the name.
Morristown, New Jersey. Westbury, New York. The Westbury
of course,
Music Center.
Westbury.
Ottawa, Ontario, Toronto, Santa Rosa, California, Newport News, Virginia, Tampa, Naples, West Palm Beach, Baltimore.
Sounds like he's taking calls from the show.
Yeah.
Cities
Palm
like
Desert,
that.
Tucson, and then we're working on Sydney, Australia. And
So who doesn't like you
Exhausted.
who doesn't like you and your family? They're making you work that hard, Larry.
Jeez.
well,
You're supposed to be semi-retired.
They're
That's not
mostly Friday and
semi-retired.
Saturdays, and frankly, I wonder why I agreed to this.
Yeah, that's a lot of dates in a lot of places.
Because
Wow.
I got two little boys, and I really love them, and even though I'm my age, I have a wife who's 26 years younger.
Yeah.
So we have two little boys. People see us together. I know what they're thinking. I always say the same thing. I always say the same thing. If she dies, she dies. Hey, you could always get another wife. What the hell? And
Well, you have done that over the years.
oh, shut up.
I just want to know what the obsession is with marriage with you.
Why I got okay.
Well, because just so you know, Ant was married once.
Once, that's all it took.
I think he did about 10.
I put in my 9 years.
And then
You have children?
No.
and then it took him 9 years to get
No.
out of it.
You missed that.
No, I'm glad
Children
I
are a
did.
joy. No.
Are they a joy?
Oh, the best. You have kids?
Yeah, my son's 1 year old. 1 year old today. Love it.
Congratulations.
Love it. Changed
There's
my
nothing
life.
like your life is never the same. You'll never be the minute they're born, never the same.
I'm like you,
I have-
Larry. I date kids.
I have three grown. I never dated. My wife is the youngest girl I've ever dated. I never liked really young girls because I wouldn't know.
What to do with them?
No, what do you say in the morning to someone who didn't know who Adlai
Get out?
Stevenson was? Right? It would be hard for me. Anyway,
Have sex with them?
I got married because. It's funny. I don't know why. Because I have, of my 6 marriages, I have only loved in my life a total of 3 women.
Really?
Yeah. And
So now what would
why did I
possess
marry?
you?
I think it's because first marriage was everybody went to the army and I was deferred. Because of my eyesight. So there was nothing to do. All the guys were gone. I met a girl. I married her. And then I went down to my, and then, I discovered what you like at 20 is not what you like at 30.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think when I see a marriage that's 56 years, they've been married 56 years, I got to figure they made a lot of compromises. And boy, oh boy, they had to put up with a lot of crap. And I couldn't stand the compromises.
But why
is
why
that-
not just date, though?
I don't know why, and I never lived with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even like staying overnight somewhere. I like going home.
Is it a religious thing?
Religious?
I don't know. To be married 7 or 8 times, it's...
I don't know. I still don't understand it. I look back. I don't have any of my ex-wives who dislike me.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 children from a previous marriage. One of the marriages brought me 2 children. Mm-hmm. I have 2 children from this marriage, and another child I adopted. I have all the kids are friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You're just one of those guys that blurt out, "Will you marry me?"
I don't know why. I've walked down the aisle wondering what am I doing? I don't know. I don't know what it was. In fact, I have never felt until Sean. I have never felt. This is strange to say this. I have never felt married. Mm-hmm. I didn't cheat on my wife. I did not cheat, but I never felt married.
Like a
First of
husband
all,
and wife, and that
first
whole
of all,
sanctity
my work
of marriage.
always came first, which was a sign. It's a bad sign.
And your wives knew this, right?
Yeah, I know that was some of the reasons why it ended. For example,
Exactly.
if I got two calls at the same time, your wife called urgent, CNN called urgent.
CNN.
You call CNN,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Of course.
See, and that shouldn't be.
I was in one of those relationships. I totally get it. And I stayed in way too long because the career with me and him, our careers were, doing great. So I just put all that on the back burner.
The trouble is, when you get a little older, and you will get older,
the other option is not very nice.
Yeah, the alternative is you'll be sorry you missed some of the years you missed.
Do you look back at some of the marriages and think, well, man, what a waste of time that was?
Sure.
I could have done, that.
Yeah. Oh, why didn't I? What was I thinking? And why did I take that? Why would I take that? Because even now, I get itchy if someone says, you can't do that. I'm 77 years old. What do you mean you can't do that? As Rickles said, what are they going to do to me?
Yeah. Did you retire on your own accord, or was there some type of...
No, it was a double situation. I've always had a great time with CNN. I still work for them. We just did an Alzheimer's special. We got a special coming with Johnny Depp. Full hour. He doesn't do interviews. Full hour with Johnny Depp.
He's an odd fish.
But he's funny. I got emails we should have print. I got a new book coming next month. CNN came to me. They've always given me long contracts. I was there 25 years in the same spot, same time. And the last contract they offered me was like for a year. And I read it like writing on the wall. So I said, well, what, maybe it's time. You want someone new? And the ratings had gone down all over the network.
How long did you know before it was announced that you were pretty much done?
About 2 months, but I hadn't actually. Yeah, I worked right up until 6 months, and I'm still being paid because I had a year still to go, and then I'm doing another 3 years of 4 specials a year, so I'm still part of CNN.
Okay,
but I can do anything else I want now. I can do a comedy tour. I can do commercials. I could do. The only thing I can't do is I can't go to Fox News or to MSNBC.
Right.
Well, they're two big rivals. I can't go there.
You don't miss the grind, do you, of doing it every day?
I'll tell you what I miss. I miss a story like Obama.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about this.
Osama bin Laden.
It's got to be killing you not on TV for
You
this.
want to run in and do it. You want to run in. Or Japan, a terrible thing to happen. Or Mubarak leaves Egypt. You want to run in. However, you don't miss, the Kardashians. You could do without the missing lady in Topeka, Washington that they're all looking for, and they're offering a reward. I could do without. British royalty could do without. Did not miss doing the wedding.
You.
Forget the royalty. Don't like royalty. So it's mixed emotions.
Right.
I had to do a lot of tabloid shows. Now, once I was on, I always gave my all. You never throw away a show.
Right.
But
But did it kill you that you didn't handle it differently, like the Kardashians? They're just... I don't even understand why they're famous.
What are you going to do when you're there? You got to be on. What am I going to yell at them? I don't.
They
didn't do anything.
Well, that's
wrong.
our problem. We would.
No, some people expect you to be like, why didn't you? I'm sure you read things.
I guess, yeah. But I always felt that, look, it's up to you to determine how you feel about them. But so what I have now is mixed emotions. I have, on the one hand, I miss it. On the other hand, I don't.
Right.
So I compared it the other day. It's like watching your mother-in-law go over the cliff in your new Bentley.
Yes.
What?
Bittersweet.
Good days and bad.
I have to ask you something that I've been toiling over since I heard it.
Toil.
This was something where you said something during an interview where I couldn't fathom this. It was a woman. She was talking about a horrific rape that had happened, and it was in her car, I believe. And she had gone shopping, grocery shopping, and she describes this horrible situation of this sexual assault. And you actually asked, your first question to her was, what did you do with the groceries? Do you remember that one?
No, but it would have been something I'd ask.
Yeah,
what happened to the groceries?
I was like, that is probably the most inappropriate thing you could have asked at the moment.
She was taken back by
I would love
the
to
question.
know your mindset behind something like that.
I have no memory of that. I swear to God.
Do you have the clip?
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, because I would love to
My
play
only
that.
guess, if you have, I hope you have the clip, because then I could have an explanation.
Put it in context, right.
Put it in context. Now, maybe...
Oh, why can't I find it? Go ahead. We'll find it.
No, if you can find it, I'd love to hear it. We'll see
Yeah.
it, because I'm trying to think. It sounds ridiculous.
It sounded like, oh my God, he didn't even take into consideration what this woman had been through. He's asking what happened to the groceries was, who cares about the groceries?
It might have been... See, I don't know the backstory.
Were you hungry, Larry?
I don't know the backstory. Was there a police investigation into this?
Oh, and perhaps there could have been some evidence.
Was there someone accused who was denying he did it? See, in other words, if you give me the whole story, I can give you a case where...
some kind of
All right,
context.
let me hear it.
Okay, you
Which
got
one
it?
is it?
Right
Sorry, we're
here.
not prepared. I thought we had this right in front of me.
Track
18? Okay.
Yeah, pop that in. Track 18. This was the...
I got the long version. So
I'll hear
Okay,
it.
that's
about a
good.
minute.
That'll put it in context.
it was about a minute. Here we go. Oh,
It's got to queue up.
As I came out of the grocery store and got in my car, Philip knocked on my window and said, I can't seem to get my car to start. It's cold. Do you think you could give me a ride? Which way are you going? And of course, he was going to go any which way I was going. And so I did.
Why did you let him in the car?
I don't know. It was the worst decision I've ever made, I think. It truly was.
What happened when he got in?
When he got in, I filled his hands with a lot of food that they had in the front seat anyway. I tried to engage him in...
He was holding your food.
He was. I tried to engage him in small conversation on the trip. I tried to stay on the main street, and when I got ready to turn, he said, well, where I'm staying is right up the road here. So I took him a little further up, and then just turned around the corner and pulled over, and he slammed my head into the steering wheel and pulled out handcuffs. He took my keys out, threw them on the floor, and pulled out handcuffs and handcuffed me and said, I just want a piece of ass. If you be good, you won't get hurt.
What did he do with the food?
He put it on the floor, I
was
guess.
a very...
I don't know.
Hold on, stop right there.
Okay.
Now, you see you guys taking out of context.
Now I would...
You took it totally out of context.
I finally get an answer, though. This is fantastic.
Hold it.
We've been obsessed with this
Wait a
one,
minute.
Larry.
Wait, obsessed.
Obsessed. We play that clip a lot.
You played a lot?
Yes.
That was great questioning.
Okay.
I got her in the car.
Finally.
Yeah. Why did she let the guy in the car?
Okay.
I got
Great
her
question.
driving, right? Now
Yeah.
I got her driving. Now, she said there was food in the car.
Yeah.
The guy, by the way, I'm trying to remember this case because it was...
1976. It was
No,
Philip Garrido.
Yeah. Garrido was later charged with harboring he hit a woman for years. He's still alive somewhere. The Garrido case,
Right.
okay? He denied it. His lawyer was denying it. So part of a good police investigation would be, you said there was food in the front of the car, right? He's knocking you out of the car. He's taking you out of the car. What happened to the food? Did he knock the food over? Was the food found at the scene? One of my great moments.
All right, investigative
That's
reporting.
a whole series. You're taking it out of... See, you ask it as just as if a woman said I was raped. What happened to the food? That's not what happened. So you guys are playing...
Is he turning this on us?
Taking
I think he
advantage.
is.
Can't happen.
So what
Finally
you did
turned
there-
it on us.
what you did, you've been playing that for a long time?
For a while.
That was terrible radio.
Well, now at least we know you were, because she seemed like a sympathetic kind of character at the time, but you were actually trying to trip her up, it seemed.
I didn't try to make her unsympathetic.
We felt
I'm
like
trying
you were
to get
obsessed with the food.
I wasn't obsessed. I'm trying to get the whole story.
Yeah.
How did the guy get in? He's knocked her out.
Right.
She's driven to a place. He got her around the corner. He's got the food. Remember, where is the food?
Where's the
front
food?
seat?
Right.
He said back seat. I never asked the question.
Right.
Okay.
He's got to knock her out. He's got to bang her head against the door.
Right.
Get her out of the car. Right. What happened to the food?
She was knocked out. You don't know.
I'm a detective. I'm
He's a detective.
He just turned that on.
By the way,
He really did.
That
was
led to the
fantastic.
series. I don't want to hurt you guys too badly, but it was that clip that led to the series Law and Order.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jerry Orbach was listening that day, and the rest is history.
Hey, I want to ask, getting back to the comedy thing, who was the funniest guy you've ever seen?
Oh, well, I love comedians, and they're my favorite people. Mel Brooks was...
Mel Brooks.
Oh, Mel Brooks was
Actually,
insane. Rickles is insane. Chris Rock. So many funny things. Seinfeld is hysterical. Larry David is drop-dead funny.
Yeah.
I love Rickles.
Rickles, his birthday yesterday. He's 85.
And still doing it.
Still doing it. Larry, he and I, his son's name is Larry, he and I go back to 1960.
Wow.
And he came on my show at Pumpernicks. He came dressed as a busboy.
Wow.
And he would walk around. You want more butter? You, lady? You're asking more? I had him on with Lenny Bruce once. One of the good stories. You guys knew Lenny Bruce?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Lenny was a friend of mine. See, I go back.
Yeah.
All right, Lenny's on. We're on at Pumpernicks. Me and Rickles, and Lenny walks in a prison uniform. A full Florida State Rayford prison uniform. And I put Lenny and Rickles on together. And the obvious question, Lenny, why are you wearing a prison uniform? See, I had a friend at Rayford that smuggled the uniform out to him, and he likes to wear it on the street, and he likes to ask cops directions while wearing it. Why, Lenny? He says, because he likes to see what's in the cop's mind. Why is this convict asking me directions? This guy's got to be an escaped convict. Do I make a pinch? But what if it's a brilliant guy who thinks I won't think that an escaped convict, so I can't be an escaped convict? So it's just a gag. But what if it isn't a gag?
That's
and I'm
exactly how he was.
and he's going through his whole thing, and it was Lenny. And Rickles says, Lenny, get a job.
That's Rickles.
It was really fun.
And Seinfeld was probably some of your, I think, your best shows with as far as having a comedian on.
I love Jerry.
It always looked like there was some type of tension between you two.
I don't know why. Of course, when I asked him, were you canceled, he got mad.
Right.
Yeah,
We play that clip a lot, too, Larry.
Were you aware we were the #1 show?
You were not aware of this, Larry?
You followed that up. That same night, we were both on Conan. Mm-hmm. We kidded about it that night. He still
great.
kids me about it. Then he put me in the Bumblebee movie. I was Larry B. King. Yes. Did you ever see the B movie?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
He put me in the B. I say we're very fun. I see him at ball games. Mm-hmm. You know,
yeah. The exchange
by the
was
way,
always
I don't
very good.
follow. See, I don't read all the columns about television or why shows go off and on. I can't name the sitcoms that are on tonight. Mm-hmm. I can't name them. Right. I was just on Better with You. Mm-hmm. I was a guest on that show. I've been in 24 movies, but I don't run and see a lot of movies. I try. So if I don't follow television, I don't know why shows leave.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
So it was an honest question by you.
Yeah, I didn't know. Why
you just didn't know.
Why would a show leave after 9 years?
Mm-hmm. And where were the groceries?
And where would it? That was another good question.
I don't doubt it.
How does he spin that one?
I know.
It's
totally
because he's been around a lot longer than
us.
No, when you played the Prelude, if you just played one, if you guys just play, here's a girl that's just been raped, here's Larry's question. What happened to the groceries? But that wasn't what happened. So
right.
You guys have been defrauding your audience?
Of course.
Well, now we got the answer.
Which, by the way, has nothing to do with you guys.
No.
We've had a hell of a ride.
Larry's got to wrap it up. You must
I'll be in Atlantic City Saturday night at the Borgata and in Boston Sunday night.
You go see Larry King. Obviously, with the years of stories and stuff, it's got to be extremely interesting and funny.
How long you two been together?
17
years. 17 years.
Are you socially friendly?
No.
Not like we used to be. No. He lives in the city. I live out in the suburbs.
We have different lives.
Yeah, our lives used to be a lot more
wait a minute, hold
common.
I'm married with a kid.
You're a city guy married with a kid. You're a single guy, no kids, and you live in the suburbs.
I live out on Long Island, yeah.
Why do you live way out?
He's got a compound.
Because I like a big house with a pool.
There's no action.
No, Larry,
it's not far.
He knocks him back.
He's doing
fine.
LaGuardia's real close for the far ones, and the train is there for the close ones.
You like having LaGuardia close?
Oh, it's nice.
Worst airport in America.
It's horrible when you fly to that place.
It's voted the worst airport.
It's like landing on a carrier deck at goddamn airport.
I was at the Met game yesterday. Boy, a plane goes every 20 seconds. Who's in the control tower?
You could count the
Who's
rivets.
asleep?
Yeah. You don't know if they're going to land right on the field.
More importantly, they know they're going to get a new stadium, and they put it right where the traffic is still. Move it somewhere else.
A little bit.
Move it a mile.
What's the greatest miss-term ever said? I'll tell it to you, okay? Near miss.
Near miss.
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
it's a near hit.
It's a near hit. It's a good miss.
Why do we say near
miss?
It's
a far miss.
Why do we say it? Why do you keep looking away?
Huh?
You keep looking at the...
No, because we have instant feedback and phone calls. I'm just seeing if anyone has something that, is good for this segment.
This is like modern radio.
Yeah.
You pre-screen the calls, huh?
Yeah, because...
I never pre-screen calls.
Well, we go
radio.
cold, and you realize it's just nonsense, and they don't have anything.
Yeah, not even during the Baba Booey years, you didn't pre-screen.
Oh boy, I would never have felt proud if someone was calling in saying Baba Booey in honor of me.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you still like radio?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Sure. Why?
We don't. No, but I like satellite. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's the best medium of all.
We're frustrated
It's the best medium because you can think anything you want. You don't have to put makeup on.
But regular radio you still find fascinating?
Well, I find I know. I listen to Sirius all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a sports junkie, so I listen to ESPN, and what I love is old-time radio, too. Your channel of old-time radio.
Right. The Shadow knows.
You bring back some of the best shows, Suspense.
Right. Were you a Lakers fan?
No, Clippers.
Clippers. You're one of those guys.
Yeah, we don't make
Underdog
the playoffs.
guy.
No, but it's great when you don't make the playoffs.
Lakers got
You don't
swept.
You don't have to worry about anything.
More people are sad over the Lakers today. Clipper fans are walking around. What the hell?
Yeah.
He's got to go. Roland's telling us he got to go.
Larry, this was a pleasure for us.
Thank
got
you so much.
Great meeting you finally.
And how do we? How do they find out where you're going to be? Because you have a lot of dates there. But is there one place they could go?
Where do you go?
Because now I want to see.
Probably a website.
No, you can get information. There's a website. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where do they go for Larry King dates?
What?
Base Entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Base Entertainment. BASE.
Okay.
Entertainment.com. BaseEntertainment.com. And as I leave you guys, I have only one thing.
Yes, sir.
What happened to the groceries?
Larry King, everyone.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Larry. Are we done?
Yeah.
All right, we're done, too.
You done for the day?
Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Everybody.
All right.
Tell him, Fred.
The Virus. Sirius XM.